Hold on. I got this. No, it's not facing the right way. And you know what? The heck with it. You can't see anything anyway. Tired. Today was laundry day. Which doesn't take too long, but still. Also still kind of recouping from yesterday. More Xenoblade today. And I started re-downloading New Horizons Animal Crossing after the Direct, and it's finally done. And so I dicked about on my island today for the first time since Christmas-ish. What's really funny is apparently the last day I checked in, I don't know if it was just past midnight, but like they introduced the like upload a backup thing. And apparently the last time I did that was on January 6th. Interesting. Again, don't know if I was playing it the day of, or if I just was playing, screwing around a little bit after midnight. But no, I actually added a second Islander on my alt account. Just curious how they, ease you into an existing island. And it's fine, it's interesting. And then swap back over to mess around with terraforming, and I finally had a small idea for one side of my island that's been relatively barren. Just extending a little river through. It's nice. Put up another bridge. All that good stuff. Not really too much to talk about today. I do want to address something that is of no importance to this series, but it's a stupid headline that Google keeps recommending to me, even though I've read the article and disliked it. Not in any tangible way. And that's not the right word, but I think you understand what I mean. Not like I actually made an account to thumbs down it or something. I just didn't like it. And the headline, to the best of my memory, so I might be paraphrasing it a little bit, goes something along the line of, "Dear Metroid Dread, Samus does not have to be an emotionless robot to be badass." And it's like, you missed the point. You really, really did. I'd loved, because it didn't feel like they really elaborated on why they felt that way in the article. But if it's because she doesn't talk during cutscenes, Samus has always been pretty no nonsense. She never really communicated. She never communicated verbally with anyone in any of the Metroid Prime games. And the first one, that was easy enough because she didn't really have contact with anyone. But in the second one, she's constantly checking in with Umos. And she never speaks because she doesn't need to. In Prime 3, she, there were plenty of opportunities for her to speak, but she just doesn't, because why would she? It's like Common or English or whatever you want to call the language everyone seems to speak isn't even her first language. She was adopted by the Chozo at such a young age that Chozo is her native tongue. And her character's never been about going out of her way to interact with anyone. It's never been about she just does jobs. That is, and just because she doesn't speak doesn't make her an emotionless robot. You can do a lot with just eyes. You can do a lot of expression with just eyes. The Prime series did this well way back on the GameCube. And Dread does it too. And another important part of storytelling is when the game doesn't show you. It's almost, you can almost see it as if, to an extent, it's Samus not wanting to let us see, and interpret it that way. But like, you read her body language, as minimal as it is, because she didn't like really naturally develop human body language. You still see there's the first major boss in Dread. She is dripping with swagger, and it's not overly done. Like, she's not teabagging the boss or anything like that, but just this little bit of, I know you're dead now, and you know it too. Just sit down. The second major boss. There is so much attitude in the way she just like immediately ceases to acknowledge that boss as a threat. Like, she's primed and ready until she sees who it is, and then she's like, oh, okay. The disrespect. And this like, emotionless robot. No, an emotionless robot would have just started firing missiles immediately because they would have wanted to get things done quickly and efficiently. Nope. She took some time to give a little bit of swagger. It's just like, God. The ending. How do you... Mild spoilers here. But like, how do you... Okay, not mild. Major spoilers here. Sort of. How do you hear the primal rage in that scream and say that she was an emotionless robot throughout the entire game? Like, serious. Did you play the same game? Or did you do the journalist thing of playing for about 10 minutes, couldn't get past the first Emmy, and quit? Because that's what it feels like you did. Kotaku writer. The only good thing to come out of Kotaku ever was, at one point, I believe, they sponsored the Gregory brothers, Shmoyoho. I don't know Shmoyoho's association with Kotaku these days. I just know that very specifically they did a remix of the Mr. T commercial for World of Warcraft, where he's a night elf mohawk. They did a remix of that around Christmas, and at the end it said Happy Holidays from Kotaku. And that's the only reason I know they were associated at one point. Everything else out of Kotaku, I'm pretty sure they're the one that spoiled Age of Calamity for me. So like, I'm just, I was so indifferent to them before because I just don't care about that crap. Like, I really don't. I have no dog in any race. But just like, fuck off, Kotaku. Seriously. They're the ones that brought a lot of attention to Metroid being emulated. Like, the day before it came out, officially, I think, they released that article about it looking really good on emulators, and it's just like, Kotaku is swiftly becoming the Fox News of games journalism. where they just miss the point every single time. I will say I at least think that with Kotaku it's not malicious like it is with Fox News. It's just ignorance. But that's how it starts. You very swiftly roll down the slope from ignorance to willful ignorance to perpetuating misinformation. So, I guess what I'm saying is, it won't be long before I can't think of a scandal worthy of it right now. Because like I was going to try to come up with a headline falsely calling out some company's bad practice, but all of the things that came to mind. Oh, I know. It won't be long before we see Kotaku take up the torch in supporting EA's surprise mechanics, which is an actual phrase they coined to actually use in courtrooms where they were having to defend loot boxes. I think it was, I don't know if it was a British court or if the interviewer at this court just had a British, but like Critical did a video on it specifically, and this robot of a woman just kept repeating surprise mechanics. She refused to call them loot boxes. She only called them surprise mechanics. It's like, good God, how tone deaf. That's Kotaku. I'm going to bed now. Good night.